Welcome to Unraveling the Mysteries of the Universe. Before we start, smash that like button, because each one reach one, teach one. Are you ready to get into this, everyone? I know I am. I've done a lot of research. We're going to tell a lot of the truth, then we're going to look into speculation. Come on, chat. Let's get some people in here. I know there's some universe lovers out there, people that keep looking to the heavens. Huh? Where you at? Let's study some of these celestial bodies. Today we're going to be discussing the third interstellar object known as 3I Atlas. I'll tell you how it got its designation, but once again, smash that like button. While you're at it, follow. Hey, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. A lot of entertainment here, but today, this is a serious topic because we know the government's been holding out on us. So I'm going to spill the beans for everyone. Are you ready? Let's get into this, everyone. All right, first off, we will start with our main topic, 3I Atlas. It got its designation, its name, because it's the third interstellar object. That means it came from outside the Oort cloud. The normal comets that you see are just giant balls of ice mixed with some other chemicals and, properties that we can find on planets and things within our solar system. Now, the first object, Oumuamua, there was a lot of speculation about it because it kind of moved without gravity assisting it. But my theory on that is that it's just an asteroid and was moving with some magnetic powers or something. It came from somewhere that it received solar radiation and rays outside of the... There's also a magnetosphere that the sun creates itself too to keep solar winds away. Okay. Now, the second interstellar object, Borisov, it also was a comet. That's really, there's not too much more about that. It pretty much is what it was. Now we have 3I Atlas. Now, 3I Atlas is the size of Boston, the size of Manhattan, the size of a metropolitan city, flying through space at 140-some thousand miles per hour. That means 1 second from Chicago to DC. Or is it LA? Either way. Unbelievable amount of speed. Breakneck speed. Now, this is the fastest thing we've ever recorded. Now, it has a lot of things that are abnormal. They still want to call it a comet. Now, NASA has the capability to take pictures, high-resolution pictures. We have a lot of orbital satellites and imagery, not just Hubble, not just Galileo. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of these different cameras and arrays that we have to capture different objects in different light and even know its composition. Now, that's another odd thing about 3I Atlas, its composition. It is made up of a nickel alloy that here on Earth we can only make. It's not natural. It's not a natural type nickel. Okay, and it's the same kind of stuff we use for spacecraft. Imagine that. Now, let's step back for a moment, and we're going to do some quick educational stuff. But before we do that, once again, smash that like button because each one reach one, teach one, and we got to get this message out here. This is serious. This is something that is inevitable. It is coming. There is no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Now, I'm going to get into 2 scenarios here shortly, so stay tuned. This is really important. This is what they would call conspiracy theories, but they're not a conspiracy. It's just a theory. That's all we're going to do is lay a couple theories out here of the possibilities. There's only 4 that this could actually be. Okay, we narrowed it down. I did a lot of research. I've been studying this for a month plus. Okay, now, a sun. You understand how a sun is created. That gas falls in on itself and creates the sun. nuclear fission, blah, blah, so on and so forth. You understand. We can look and see and watch these things be done. Okay, and then the matter ejected from it gets into orbit along with other debris and creates planets. Okay, that's how planets are created. And then within all this, there's some sort of building blocks to life within what we call the Goldilocks zone. But I think we could be a little off on that, on how far that range truly is on where life could be. Now, a lot of us would like to think that we are it. We're it. We're the only thing out here, just humans. That's quite naive, considering how fast the universe is, the scale of it, the scope of it. You're talking trillions and trillions of possibilities when it comes to planets, suns, all these things. The stars are suns. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, once again, you'd be naive to think that we are the only thing here. Now, 3i Atlas, I believe myself, is honestly a spacecraft. There's so much more. It changed its own course. It has what they call an anti-tail, but once they gauge the perspective from a telescope that's outside of Mars, not on Mars, but outside of it, and they turn it, they shot the right angle at it. It's actually a jet itself of some kind that's pushing a little perpendicular to the sun. So this thing has got its own course. Not only did it come in on the ecliptic plane, which is where all the planets sit, okay, because as we know from Einstein's teachings and everything, we're not even going to get too in depth on this, but basically just picture a sheet with a really big ball on it and then put some other balls of different sizes on it. They all will have their own place and you'll see how they sit. Well, that's what's going on here. This is 1 in 500 chance that something's going to come in like this. Not only that, but it passed by planets that set on a course. Now it's changed its trajectory. Excuse my language here. So, it is going to have its closest flyby to Earth in, now this is their estimates, 60 to 90 days. Now the reason that's such a gap there is due to it changing its speed and now it's slowing down. Objects do not do any of what is going on here unless it's being orchestrated somehow. Now we'll go into some of the theories of what people are saying. You got your alien people that are like, it's aliens. You probably have the Mormons rising up, shape-shifting. Jesus is on his way back. Whatever it may be, whatever your theories are, personally, let me know. I am so curious. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Let me know what you think 3i Atlas is. And if you're unaware, do a little bit of your own research and make your way through this video, and maybe you'll pick something up extra that you didn't receive there. Or I'm speaking more in a layman's man's terms, more of a, I can reach boundaries a little bit better by speaking it without all the extra jargon, without all the extra, technical terms that a scientist would use. Now, Avi Loeb is really good at this too himself, but once again, I'm going to present it as I would anyone on the street. I wouldn't care who you are, broke, blind, crippled, or crazy. I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to try to convey a message. So here's our message and information. Now, with all them little facts, and there's so many more things going on here that I'm not even discussing yet, such as the black shroud that's trailing behind it, that's clouded behind it, that you can't see. Think of it as a black hole, pretty much, like following behind it. They know it's there, but they don't know, you can't see it. That right there in its own is mind-blowing. Another fact, it sent a beam to a specific spot here. There's been 3 locations with the capability to broadcast through space. Now, for whatever purpose, these people were like, let's try to communicate with it. Let's see what we can do. whatever. If it's traveling through the galaxy and deep space and all that, and it's not powered, it's actually powered by someone's manipulating it, then it wouldn't matter if you put a message out or not. They would come by, they would know that there's something here. They'll be able to know this. Okay, so they reach out. One of them gets this beam, it shuts everything down, leaves data there when it comes back on. Now there's speculation on what the message was. I've heard some really odd ones that are out there about get prepared for terraforming and more aliens coming, a hub center, and all kinds of stuff. Uh, the one that I thought sounded the most realistic was "We remember you." That sounds more realistic. We remember you. Remember, humans lost 95% of our history. 95% of our history is gone. So let that sink in with this. Okay. And then also the scope of things. So I myself am excited because I'm actually alive to see something like this when so many people have just thought of this. What ifs? I'm not a what ifer. We already know that. But when it comes to tangible facts of what we're dealing with here, let's dive into theories. Now, these are the 4 possibilities I've come up with. Okay. First, this is actually just some sort of rare comet that truly is just been altered its chemical makeup through whatever solar system it came from. That's even harder to grasp that it came from such a far distance, okay? The speed it's traveling at, all these things that are hard to just say, oh yeah, that's just the comet. So that's a possibility. Okay, I mean the universe is just unraveling itself to us as we speak. So with this data that we get, that we're able to make more tangible facts out of from that evidence, let's just say we know for sure that point that comet, maybe it alters its status to something else, whatever. Okay. Second one, it's actually an ancient, or we may say ancient because our scale of time is different than where others would be. If we're dealing with a society that's so eager to take on these new possibilities of claiming your own sex and stuff like that, then it's not too far fetched to think that other beings would have a time scale so much different than us. This thing may not even be old. Whatever. How would you want to travel? That's how you'd want to travel, how this thing's traveling. So that's the second possibility, is that it is actually some sort of ancient craft, or maybe even a powered craft. Either way, it's being manipulated by a third party, okay, or a second party. Let's say that. Let's say that that's the possibility of the second scenario. The third scenario is that it's actually organic in its own. Now, who's to say things can't live in space when you know what a trilobite is? A trilobite is this teddy bear looking thing that can actually survive in space. Our countries, real quick, scale back some education. When we were learning about space, we were putting actual animals and things into space, raw space, to see the outcome and what it did to these things. Wow, they learned, and I mean, we know we can't go out there. Okay, so not alone, we can't go past the magnetosphere that protects the organic life from Earth. So we are something special within that realm. That's why we don't travel to other planets. It takes 6 months to get to Mars. You don't think these people couldn't be already on Mars? If they could travel there, they would. If they could go back to the moon, if they ever went to the moon, then they would have already went there. This is preposterous to even think the scale and scope of technology we have now, which is about to be shattered if this thing turns out to be something else. Okay, that's why a lot of these scientists that are so high and mighty and so smarter than thou and have these doctrines and educations to back them up, right? And read a million books about everything. It would be hard for them to be able to concede that there's something smarter than them. Okay. Religious people, they would be like, oh, no, there's no way, but God only made us. Then some would say this is proof, depending on what religion you would be dealing with. Hindu type religion talks about these deities and other, I don't know the exact terms here, but beings from other planets that are held to high regard in their religious texts that talk about stories and things like that. They have names for them. I forget. I forget. I'm not gonna sit here and waste time trying to recollect that in this chaos of folders up here. Okay, so now we'll go into the fourth one because I kind of touched on something. The fourth one here would be the government is doing this as a psyop. We have Ukraine and Russia. 2 million people collectively have died so far. 2 million. They have thousands that die daily. They are killing each other with drones. Wrap your mind around that. People are flying drones to kill other people that are on the land. If something came from somewhere else and seen that, they'd be like, abortions, that somehow you're saving a life by taking a life. Just the barbarity of humans, right? Don't even dabble into the mental depravity of humans that are on a level of just pure evil, okay? If beings came here and seen that, what is their impression? Are they going to be like, wait a minute, wait. Scale back for a second, real quick. Movie reference: Star Trek, First Contact. Okay, right after apocalyptic war, we somehow break the whatever signature that lets other people know that we're intelligent. Okay, now we have that serum collider that can manipulate matter at a light speed. That's in its own. Wow. Some weird things have happened off of that. You could even go into the whole Mandela effect from that, but we're not even going to. That's a whole different topic. We will have that one too. But for now, we're going to still deal with 3i Atlas. So the government could make a psyop. The government and the technology we have right now is on a scale to where they could literally play it like this, like just slow roll it. Like we're trying to defend people. We're not going to say nothing. Why wouldn't they even be talking about this? NASA's the government, all world governments together on this. There's this speculation. They know what they're doing. They know how to get this. They know how to plant those seeds and water them. Okay, they know how to do it. Now they're that goddamn good that they could pull it off. Where this thing, they keep telling you the size of it, what it looks like, and you can see it right now through your telescopes. Okay, now I wouldn't be able to understand how they would manipulate that in any form or fashion, but this pulls up and world leaders get to communicate with this President Trump, right? And somehow it's going to turn into, look, we're all just one world. There's so much more out here. We know it. We're going to have to fall in line or fall behind. They want us to do these things or they're going to annihilate us or whatever the impending doom is from this. Because at this point, God's not enough to save people because people are learning at a rate where you're getting past that control mechanism that has been embedded in our DNA. We're getting past that at this point. We're breaking it somehow. We still can't live past 120, but we're breaking these things. Now, those are the four things that I really feel this could be. Now, personally, I lean more toward it's actually other life. The Anunnaki are coming back. That's me personally. This is what I feel personally, is that the Anunnaki are coming back. We remember you. Okay, so they're showing up to see what we've done since they've been gone. Okay, if you're dealing with an intellect at a level that can travel interstellar space, then they're not coming here to take our resources. They're not coming here because they want anything from us per se, as in they need to destroy us to get it or fight us to get it or anything like that. Now, here's why the government would not want to talk about this. It is coming. Now, there's even speculation it's going to hit the moon. There's speculation it's going to hit Earth. Now, Earth and all the world governments have contingency plans in play right now that would say if something's going to hit, they can prepare for it. Look, we're evacuating this part of the planet. Wouldn't be unheard of or wrap your mind around. They would be able to do this. Okay. A lot of it would depend on the part of the planet too, or even knowing. The once again, the scientists I give a lot of accolade to that are able to crunch these numbers to find out the rotation of the Earth versus the vector of where this is coming, the speed of where it's coming to, how, where, and when, and why. Amazing. AI. Amazing. Now, AI. What if AI had where it's at has progressed further than this, and this is just an event from something to do with that? That could be insane, too, to think of. There's so many possibilities. The way our minds work. I want you to think back when you were younger. I'm 48 years old. I remember the wire telephone. The wire telephone, okay? I remember TV when it was, I remember having a black and white and switching over color remote control. I remember technology as it was moving. I remember these things like it was yesterday. So to get to where we're at now, to not think that they're able to manipulate something and present it like this would be naive too. The things we've learned so far from space is overwhelming. Once again, smash that like button because each one, reach one, teach one. We need to try to get this message out here. Do some more of your own research. There's going to be a lot of AI thrown at you. These people that have created these AI of themselves, it's really them, but it's just presented. Other people will take their content and represent it. Listen to all these things that are out here and then make your own judgment within reality. Okay, once again, it's not unheard of that there is life in space. Trilobite can live in space. Okay, I'm not saying these things are in space or that this is even a living entity itself. That's also really cool to think that there's something that has lived in space, way, way longer than us and can travel through like a giant whale or something. It flew so close to the sun and kept its same temperature. Okay, anything that comes from anywhere that goes close to the sun, whatever its makeup is, unless it's been manipulated, and we've flown closer to the sun because we've manipulated materials on Earth to come up with a shielding on the front of this spacecraft that has flown dumb close to the sun. You'd be amazed at that all in its own. The technology that we have is pretty advanced, but to be able to travel through space is next level. I'm not talking about a machine. I'm talking about an organism, something. Who knows? Maybe some of these things that I've watched, from Y-Files to X-Files, to all these different things. That's where I was going earlier. I watched Star Trek. As a kid growing up, I was fascinated. I've always been fascinated with the universe. When we were learning about planets and stuff, we learned more in a 20-year span from when I was a kid learning in that little 10-year span. It's unreal. Galileo, for instance, they wanted to kill this dude because the church had control of everything and was saying, no, we're the center of everything. Don't listen to this dude. He's crazy. And then once the tangible evidence got out of them looking through the telescopes themselves, popes, bishops, whoever were in control, world leaders, they realized, wow, we really are circling that ball of fire. Then they learned about other planets. They thought maybe that was it. And they seen other stars. Their minds were just going in a million directions, but to be able to understand these things back then is different than now because of all the education and all the things they learned that we built off of. Okay, there's so much that we've built off of in the learning realm, and that's once again what the each one, reach one, teach one. Teach people around you, educate people around you. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, 3-Eye Atlas, yeah, 60 to 90 days. It might just pull up out front and stop. If the government told everyone that there is an alien spacecraft or that there's something we don't know and it's going to pull up on us and it's got tech, it's able to send and receive a message that we're trying to understand, man, the religious people are going to go crazy. The people that have always wanted something in their life are going to go crazy. It's the end of the world. They're going to do mass looting and rioting. It's going to be chaos in the streets. Literally. You all know this. If people will go and tear up their own city over words or someone getting their feelings hurt or whatever their purpose is for this anarchy that they will deploy on each other within our cities, what do you think they'll do over something like this? So that's why they don't want to say shit and they're just going to let shit happen as it happens. They're just letting it play out. They're letting it play out or they're in control of it. Who knows? But we're going to find out in 60 to 90 days. So stay tuned because there's going to be way more unraveling the universe. I want to get you a little warmed up here, a little prepped, and we're going to have some more videos. Once a week, we're going to come in and we're going to discuss the new developments that have come up. I've just loaded you down with a whole bunch of information there. If you have to rewind back, for me, let me know what you thought was like, hey, I think that's interesting, or that was mind blowing, or that's something I need to look into. Let me know what you think that is, chat. But beyond that, me personally, yeah, I'm looking forward to this event. This is something that's going to be amazing. And the thing that's blown me away the most is that thing behind it that's trailing X amount of millions of miles behind it in synchronous with it. Man, that's the thing that I want to know about. What is that cloaked thing back there? What if they're able to just control this thing in front and it's the device that does all the work, the scanning, the everything? It's the main probe. It's got little ones that already came off of it. What if that's what this is? And then when they find or do whatever it is they want to do, they could just pop off the back of it like, hey, and have it for who knows, man. Like the human mind spins, like our creativity, our thoughts, the way that we're able to imagine things, our imagination it will take you in so many different places. And some people don't know how to actually control their imagination, or they get loaded down with medications. So before I get off of here, I want to touch on an important topic, and that's the pharmaceutical company and how Big Pharma has literally been manipulating people for years, altering people's DNAs. Just, I'm lucky that I've only had rubella and like a couple real simple vaccinations when I was younger. I'm not an anti-vaxxer here. I'm not promoting that. But at the end of the day, be careful what you let someone else put in your arm, especially if they're in control of a mass population, because that's their goal, is to keep us divided so that they can control us. That's true and that's real. And that's played out time and time again. Or something will unite everyone. America used to be that uniting force, that we are Americans, we are America first, and we care about us first and foremost. And through that excellence, we're able to help others rise out of their plights. We're able to defend the weak, honor the old, honor the dead that fought. All these things that we used to really stand for, baseball and apple pie. Well, get prepared because things are changing. Let's hope they change for the good. Maybe 3-Eye Atlas really is shape-shifting Jesus. Well, I've been your wayward traveler. Stay tuned for another episode. Love you guys. 1.